Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope that you guys are all having a good start to your morning. Today is July 24th, Wednesday. The crude oil report comes out in about 1 hour, a little bit under an hour. It comes out 1 hour after the market opens. One of the big focuses that a lot of our team members are having right now is the push on degas and the sell-off on natural gas. One of the simple things that I want to remind you is that direction is super important right now between the middle and bottom VWAP. So showing signs of a descending pattern and no change of direction is /NG, right? Yes, it's oversold. Yes, it has a nice little margin for recovery, but it's not indicating in any way any signs of a reversal as of right now. So for someone to try to find the bottom, in my experience, would not be the best, right? For /NG, continuously making lower lows and lower highs, it's just, there's no other way to put it. It's just as of right now, it'd be very difficult for there to, for someone to try to be like, okay, well, this is the bottom and it's bound to push up, right? As right now, DGAS is aggressively pushing up, showing signs of an uptrend pattern. Yes, it's overextended. Yes, it's overbought. One of the big things that we like to do, right, is focus on a good deal. If you think that DGAS is too overextended, too overbought, and you don't even care that it's showing signs of an uptrend pattern, that's fine because it doesn't meet your criteria, then simply just don't trade it. If you like going with the flow and that at least as you understand that it is actively trending up, and we still can try to focus on getting in for a good deal, but that you'll manage your risk accordingly in case of any change of direction, then great. Good morning. So how's everyone doing this morning? Are we all doing good? So congrats to all those that held DGAS. Regardless if you're on the side of UGAS or DGAS, this is exactly why we do not hold anything, overnight. Right? It's super important, especially with these ETFs, to have a clear understanding of its direction. And if it's not a consistent pattern, to lock in profits day by day. Just so you guys can see, I have not taken one position, right? Not one position during pre-market or anything like that. I've been up on and off since 4, trying to see if I saw value in anything. I don't know why. I was just super tired and just decided to sleep in. I apologize that I was about like 5 to 6 minutes late to the live stream. I really do apologize. So right now we're getting a really strong push up on DGAS. Again, this is an overall uptrend pattern. It's overbought, it's overextended, but the overall direction is in the favor of DGAS and not in favor of natural gas, right? With /CL, and this is where we can kind of decide, the low points, the high points. We're getting a lot of consolidation based off of previous low points, based off of previous high points. You can see how this correlates on over to UWT. So UWT should be overextended right now. There's just a lot of consolidation. There's not a super clear direction. It's almost just, I don't know why that's taking so long. It's almost just consolidating, right? But yeah, looking at the MACD, looking at the RSI, if this pattern continues, then this will most likely be a dip buy, and then we can see a nice little push up. But it just looks like I'm looking at /NG here on my second screen. I'm gonna pull up /CL. And I'm gonna try this. So I'm going to make sure that I watch my position size. Again, this is not in any way any suggestion that you should take yourself. So please, if it doesn't make sense to you, one of the best suggestions that I would have is simply don't trade it. What's going on? Okay. So again, one of the reasons that I decided to, there is no confirmation as of right now, and that is why I took a 1/3 position size. So this thing can continue to sell off, and if it does, I'm going to manage my risk, and that's why I have my order ready to sell. But one of the things that I find attractive is that, like I showed on that /CL pattern, based off of previous highs, right, we can see that this thing is a little bit more on the overextended side. So again, identifying like the low points, the high points, the low points, the high points, the low points, the high points. Looking at the MACD, looking at the RSI, there is no pullback confirmation. So again, it's not on. There it goes. So we have a nice push, right? I can decide to buy a little bit more. Okay. Here we go. So this is how that looked, /CL, right? Very similar pattern to, okay, it pushed up, became overextended, began to pull back, indicating signs of a pullback. There is no, change of pattern. It's still, it's still pulling back. It's still above the EMA line. This EMA line can still be viewed as support. Once we break below this, I'll add my last, position. And here we go. But once we break below this EMA line, and it makes lower lows, we have a more clear understanding. Again, I want to sell around this general area. And look, again, a potential support can't form here. So this is something that we have to be very careful for. Here we go. Looks like we're about to make lower lows. The MACD looks good. The RSI is definitely in our, favor. Here we go. Before I add more to my position size, I'm going to make sure that, again, a big focus is that risk management, especially based off of, my recent experiences. I recently, not recently, but it's still pretty recent, began to trade with $100,000. And one of the things is all about scaling. It's becoming more comfortable and confident as you continue to grow your account. And yeah, I want to make sure that I don't break that. I want to make sure that, and there it goes. It looks like that EMA line potentially is being found as a support. Here we go. That EMA line was found to be a support, and let's see. Looks like we might be experiencing another pullback right now. Quick second. You can't really see it on DWT. This is why I like to pay so much more attention to this. To /CL. There's more patterns that I can analyze. If you've watched any of the videos where I explain, how I identify direction, I have a huge focus on paying attention to the future, and I need to make sure. And this is the future for /CL, right? I don't mean future as in like I can see the future. I mean this is like it's future. So here we go. Right. Again, we're at a point where it's overextended. I was ready to get, if you guys could see, I'm ready to cut losses if it begins to push up or break its pattern. There's a very simple pattern that, it's overextended and it's oversold here, right? If it continues to push up, and right now it almost offers this kind of like horizontal pattern, low points, high points, low points, high points. So you guys get what I mean? And if it just all of a sudden begins to uptrend, I don't want to ride and bag hold, DWT, right? Because when forward/CL pushes up, then that means that, DWT will then begin to sell off. So I need to be quick, right? I'd rather manage my risk at like under $500 because I know I can make that back in one trade. So here we go. We're getting a lot of consolidation. And again, this is something that we talked about in yesterday's live stream where, one second. It looks like we're going to get the push up. One second. But this is what we talked about in yesterday's live stream where there could be a potential change of direction. And if you've been part of Learn Plan Profit for a long enough period of time, you must have seen this where something will be trading some certain way during pre-market hours. But as soon as the market opens, it changes directions, right? And that's definitely something that we want to take into consideration. The market literally just opened 20 minutes ago. So this is something that we have to take into consideration that, yeah, there was a horizontal pattern literally since the market closed yesterday. And that's very clear on forward/CL. Very easy to identify the low points, very easy to identify the high points. So good entries and good exits. There's no question in my eyes that is like how simple it was, right? But just because it was like that doesn't mean that it has to continue to trade like that. Patterns tend to repeat themselves at the end of the day. They do not have to. And let's see. All right, that was bad. It looks like it's pushing up right now, or it's not necessarily continuing to push up, but it's a little bit more on that breakout. So one thing that I'll do is I'm going to give it a little bit more time, and if it does actually begin to sell off, and there it goes, if it does actually begin to not just pull back to the EMA line, but actually begin to sell off, I'm just going to set my alert. So I had to manage my risk there, right? There we go. Alrighty. So my average purchase price originally for DWT was around 66 or $6.65, something like that. Ended up having to cut losses, $365 of a loss. Again, if I'm trading with 100K, that's a 0.03%. So I would much rather minimize my loss and focus on keeping those small, just so when I see a big play happening, I can easily make that back, right? Because I don't know if forward/CL is going to continue to upturn or continue to rally, so I have to be patient with this. So using your live stream as a second screen. I like that. Natural gas, let's see. Okay, there's it looks like it's potentially finding a support. This isn't a very, it's done this multiple times where it breaks above the EMA line, becomes overextended, and then continues to downtrend. Again, it's still trading between the middle and bottom VWAP and that overall SMA line. So let's please take that into consideration, that there's just a huge risk with something. I'm all about buying the dip. You guys know I am. I'm huge on getting something for a good deal. But the direction is aggressively selling off right now. Just like yesterday, the pattern on /CL, the pattern was aggressively pushing up. It just didn't make a lot of sense to try to find the bottom. Now that it's kind of flattened out and there's a pattern here, it made a little bit more sense to me. That just might be my mistake, but it made a little bit more sense to me. I'd be very, and there we go. Look at that pullback. Holy smokes. Here we go. Looks like I was just a little early to the rally. Let's see. It's still above the EMA line, so the EMA line is still acting as a support. And this is something that we've talked about multiple times before. Like, I decided to take a position twice before the confirmation of lower lows, before confirmation of a change of pattern. There's a pullback, and pullbacks are inevitable. It's just correcting itself, right? But it's still uptrending. So even if it does bounce, this thing can still uptrend. What would be a change of pattern is when something pulls back and then actually begins to make lower lows. That's a change of direction. And this is something that we've, I'm not under the PDT rule. I'm not a beginner trader, right? So me getting in before to try to get in for a good deal and then adding more to my position size made sense to me. If you're someone that is very, has a limited amount of day trades, and would rather be extremely selective with when they choose to enter, I 100% agree with you, and I think that that's what you should do. You should wait till the direction is super clear, right? Let's go on Lethal Weapons Gaming. But yeah, let's check out /NG. Yeah, look, it looks like it's already becoming overextended, right? And there it goes, pulling back. So if anything, DGAS should then, what's the margin here? About 1%. And there it goes. It's already beginning to push up. So I think someone asked about /NQ, right? So this is the NASDAQ future, and the correlating ETFs are SQQQ and TQQQ, right? One of the things that I want to point out is overall high points, right? Based off previous patterns here, here, and here. As you guys can see, the MACD, the RSI, you can see that it's super overextended. It makes sense on why it could be due for a pullback. And what does that mean? Why is that important? Well, if this sells off, then it's correlating future, correlating ETF, inverse ETF, right? SQs will then begin to push up. But one of the things that I like to take into consideration is the margin, right? The margin of profit for recovery. This one's about 1% for it to fully recover. I don't find that to be too attractive. TQs, right? TQQQ. Put too many Qs. Here we go. Is the one that pretty much mirrors that future, right? So if /NQ sells off, then so does this. I don't like trading these too much or too often because they don't move as much, and that's just preference, right? If you work very well with NASDAQ or you work very well with gold or crude oil or whatever the case may be, find your niche, right? Just because I do something does not mean that it's the right way to do it for you. This is why we've talked about it so many times, that you should study all these different systems and concepts that, and you can call them best practices, right? There's no such thing as a perfect working system for everybody. And that's something that you have to understand. It's like, you first learn it, you practice it, see if it works for you. You continue to try to refine it to see if it actually works for you. And if it does, then that can be a working concept that you can implement. If it doesn't mean that method doesn't work. It just doesn't work for you, right? We're all wired in different ways, and we've said that multiple times. And I need to make sure that you guys understand these different approaches to the market, and there's always some form of refinement, right? Based off of your approach that you're gonna have to do. So let's see. Is oil report today. Yeah, today's the crude oil report. So I was planning on going live for about an hour, right? I was a little late. I was about 5 to 7 minutes late. So it's probably going to be almost exactly an hour that I'm going to be going live. Is that all right with you guys? Or would you guys rather have me just cut it out in about 10 minutes? What do you guys think? Sounds good. Here we go. Pulling back at the EMA line. Let's be careful. There we go. Nope. I'm going to be careful with this. Looks like the EMA line is still acting as a very solid support. This is not something that it was doing before. We're not forming lower lows yet. We're still holding above 57.10 for /CL. Which, one of the things, again, this sucks. It doesn't suck. It's just like the more patient that you are, the better, right? And yeah, we're not getting a sell-off confirmation in any way. So we just have to be more selective. So take a pause and come back. Yeah, I'll probably have like a little protein shake, but I'll probably be live throughout the entire time if that's cool with you guys. So more, let's see. Yes, 5 hours, please. Perfect. Sounds good, Liam. Very light work, right? Light work. I know that we might have a couple of you that are tuning in for the first time that are just observing because you guys asked me for the link. What is it that you think, if you can voice your opinion, what is it that you think about these live streams? Do you guys find it helpful, like hearing me out and explaining my thought process? Again, it's not about copying my trades. As you can see, not 100% of my trades work out according to plan, but I still feel like I did a really good job managing my risk. Right now it's at 661. So happy birthday to me. Confirmation, baby. I like that, positive vibes. Happy birthday. I really like hearing your thought process in real time. I appreciate that. Thank you. Wow, /CL. Yeah, /CL is pushing up. Excited to work with you. Stefan, yeah. So live stream is really good. I'm super happy to hear that. I like that. Happy birthday, right? No, it's not my birthday. It's not. My birthday is on the 2nd of January. Very helpful, really gets my day started in the right. I like that. I think a lot of it has to do with your mindset and your approach to the market, right? And sometimes just hearing someone out reminding you every single day, even if you've been trading for 6 months or a year, but you guys know that I could be super annoying. I don't want to call it annoying, but that I'm very consistent in reminding you to be selective, to lock in profits, and to make sure that every trade that you take is one step closer to working towards, your future, right? And I think by hearing that out every day, yes, I'm annoying. I'm kind of that friend that always reminds you to do your homework, right? But I would much rather be that type of person that tries to hold you accountable, because at the end of the day, I can't do anything for you. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to empower you to be the best person that you can be. And although that might be annoying, I get that. I'm not trading for you, right? I'm not going to tell you yes or no, if you should do that. I'm just going to give you my 2 cents. So when you hit 600K, you should do an open to close live trading. We're really close to 600K. I don't think I want to trade live for 6 hours, but I appreciate it. Here we go. We're getting a lot of consolidation on /NG. I'd rather have that accountability by live stream. That helps the green. I like that. So here we go. So I'm going to set an alert. We're getting a lot of consolidation. So sometimes if it consolidates for a long enough period of time, it doesn't necessarily have to sell off. It can continue to push up. So that's something that I'm going to watch out for. I'm also going to set my alert if this thing begins to make lower lows, just so I'm up to date on its overall direction. It looks like /CL. Again, look, we had a very clear pattern here. A very clear pattern of when something was, selling off, pushing up, selling off, pushing up, selling off, pushing up, the overall high points, low points, and stuff like that. And it just I don't want to say it broke it. It's just pushing up a little bit more than it has before. And that's okay. It was very bullish yesterday. And this is why we've said multiple times, as long as you guys have that like mindset that patterns tend to repeat themselves, they don't have to. Would you say that /CL has a confirmed uptrend on the no. Would you say that this is a confirmed uptrend? I mean, it has made higher highs, but it's not continuous higher highs where it's like super clear, right? It's still kind of like barely above the EMA line by one of its candles of the 4-hour chart, right? I'm a true believer that watch out. It's pulling back. I'm a true believer that like, you need to give something time. And the more, if something is continuously selling off, or let me put this into perspective, if something is continuously, pushing up and showing signs of an uptrend and the direction is super clear, you're going to be that much more confident to trade it, right? Or to invest in it. So if something is continuously making money, then you'd feel that much more comfortable to, put more money in it. As of right now, I would say that /CL is in the very beginning stages of a potential reversal, but it also can be overextended enough that it could pull back. So what can you do? It's the very simple things in life that I think people tend to overcomplicate, and that is just give it time to identify its true direction. Positive vibes. Thank you. Of course. Okay. Les White, I 100%, and not only can I relate to you, but I can guarantee you that there's going to be so many people within, watching us right now that can relate to you as well. How many people, right now, Les is saying, my problem is that I wait for the confirmation, and by the time that I feel comfortable with it, it's already at the point where it's about to reverse, meaning that it's already overextended or at its, resistance. If you have ever experienced this, say I. And look, you'll see that you're not alone by any means. It happens all the time. I think everyone, right? It's crazy, right? When we share like either a series of mistakes or things that we have done together or have experienced ourselves, a lot of people can relate to it. One of the things that I would take into consideration is, let me ask you this. So, Les, why are you somewhat hesitant to take your position, right? So, sometimes you do wait maybe a little bit too long for that confirmation. What if you have, what if you either wait for higher highs to form, right? Either on the 1-day, 1-minute chart or on the 4-hour, 1-hour chart where it's still, not super early and it's showing signs of it making higher highs. But why is it that it might be difficult for you to take that position? Why? What are you scared of? It's the monetary aspect. I'm not saying that you're scared of it, but it's something in the back of my head that was like, okay, well, I don't want to get in right now and lose a day trade, or I don't want to get in right now and then have to lose money because I don't know if it's going to continue to push up. So one thing that you can test, again, all of this is a testing and working system, and you have to test it to see if it works for you, is I would watch your position size. If you're paper trading, then I think that's perfect because you can then begin to practice what time and when is the most ideal time for you to get in, right? And if you're trading with like, let's say $1,000, but you're still uneasy, then, buy $100 worth of it. There's no reason that you should aggressively trade as you're testing out when to buy and when to sell. These are all things that you have to practice. For me, and you guys have seen it multiple times, I would much rather lock in profits early than try to squeeze out every cent. So I'll sell, but it's because it like makes me feel so much more comfortable, and my overall experience with trading is that much better. And that's just something that's worked well for me. Do I think that everyone should do that? Heck no. And I've said that multiple times. I don't think I have a perfect trading style, but I think I have a series of best practices that work very well. /NG, there we go. Looks like it's making higher highs. So one of the things that I want to end that with, Jess, is just to make sure that you watch your position size. If you want to get into a position because you think that the margin of profit is still worth it, but it's still in the early stages of a reversal, as long as there's a reason for your action and you're okay with managing your risk, just take a very small position size just to get some skin in the game. If you're paper trading, then even better, right? You don't have to worry about that monetary loss if it doesn't go according to plan. But at the end of the day, what are we doing? We're trading to learn, not trading to profit, right? Trading to learn, not trading to profit. You're not, right now, the dollar amount that you're trading with, your confidence level and your experience, let's be honest, Les. Yeah, you're gaining experience, but it's still in the very early stages. You have nothing but time to continue to scale, gain experience, and gain confidence as a trader. Ricky, you go to the gym after or before trading? Usually right after. But yeah. I like that. Trading to learn, not trading to profit. We try to repeat it again, and I know that's not a glorious way to approach the market. Trust me, I get that. I 100% get that. That's not a glorious way. Do you guys see this happening right now? Do you guys see this happening? Let's see. Little sell-off for the boys and girls, right? It's just a term where we say, like, for the boys, it's just like when you're with your guy friends, right? You're just like, oh, for the, it's really dumb. But the boys, like when we say Saturdays are for the boys, it's just for like your close guy friends. It's kind of like guys watching football, but I don't watch football. So then, yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to explain myself. Okay, so you guys understand. Here we go. No, it looks like it's still trying to build a support. That's crazy. Oh. Oh, do you guys see this? One of the things that I do want to point out is the MACD is already a little bit on the oversold side. It's already beginning to reverse, so sometimes we'll see this maybe not sell off all the way and actually find a support much sooner. And yeah, so this is why we have to be very selective with our entry points. It looks like it's still pushed up, so I'm gonna have to give this more time. Natural gas, how we looking? Okay. Natural gas definitely on the overextended side is consolidating. I want to see if we can get a little bit more on the overbought side. What's the margin of profit for recovery on degas? Let's see. About 1.2%. Not a crazy amount. Here we go. Oil report in 15 minutes, correct? It's at 7:30 a.m. So on my time, right? Right now it's 7:11. Hey-oh, 7:11. But yeah, about 20 minutes. 19 to be exact. But blessings for your teaching, Ricky. Appreciate it. I'm really happy that you guys are enjoying this. I think that's a very important part of learning. This market is. It's very simple concepts, in my opinion, and how I trade, but it's the very simple things in life that are pretty complicated, right? In the monetary aspect, in the reward, there's a huge learning curve in this market. So it's very important in my eyes for you to enjoy, as you're learning about these different markets. And you guys can see this being expressed through my videos, and maybe you're like how dorky I am, and I could see a lot of people maybe rubbed off the wrong way because of that. But I enjoy it, and I like to try to make it fun. I do this for myself, and I try to enjoy the process. I think you should enjoy what it is that you do, right? And I think that's why I've grown such a huge passion for this. It's because of the passion and the enjoyment aspect allowed me to overcome any hesitation or obstacle when the monetary reward wasn't there, right? As I was learning, I wasn't making any money, but I was enjoying it so much that I was okay with it, right? So for all those that like play basketball, those professional basketball players, they just enjoyed playing basketball. And they got to a point where they were so good that they ended up, being able to build a career out of it. But does a kid always, let's think about it, does a kid start playing basketball because he thinks he's going to be making millions, or, he's going to get a contract for the Warriors, right? Like, yeah, that might be an idea, but let's be honest, a majority of them that actually start and that are actually very talented are more because they just enjoy the sport, right? If you enjoy the market and what it is that you do, I feel like that will allow you to overcome these obstacles that you're going to encounter. There's no question. These red days and these ups and downs when the monetary reward isn't there. Can we focus, please, on talking about the report? The report isn't until 15 minutes, so I don't know what you want to talk about. I don't trade the report. I trade after the report. Yeah. Hey, Ricky, what do you think about Gush? What influences it? I believe Gush is a mix between crude oil and natural gas, right? From what you see now in the trend, Brian, what I see now in the trend has no correlation to how the report is going to come out. I don't know if you understand how the report works, but yeah, it has no correlation. It could be actively trending up, but if the report is in favor of, of like the inverse, or right, like let's say supply levels are down, and it has a huge pullback, it has no correlation. That's why I don't trade the report. I'm not here to try to predict it. But yeah, let me go ahead and break down Gush. Gush with a nice push up. Actually, I think Weston is in this. Weston should probably sell pretty soon. I think he got in this yesterday, and a lot of people were talking about this in the swing trading chat, and I can see why, but also it's a descending pattern. But yeah, it broke above the EMA line. It was showing signs of an uptrend. It normally gets rejected when it's close to or near to the overall SMA line. So not that I know of for gold. Right, because like crude oil and natural gas, those are all like commodities that like we use, right? And that they actively like mine for, right? Or what is it? Yeah, I would say mining, right? But gold is, it's a hard trade. I'm not like using gold every day, right? To like cook my, trust me, I 100%, I've thought of that before. I'm like, hey, other gold reports, and when you think about it, you're like, yeah, it probably doesn't make sense. Good question. Here we go. Natural gas. Natural gas with the push. Again, I want natural gas to become very overextended. We need to build that margin. So it looks like we're kind of getting a lot of consolidation. There's changes of direction all within this live stream. So something that was selling off, literally right around 6:30 to 6:45, it found the support and then began to push up. So it's very unfortunate, but that's why you have to be very careful. The market just opened. Same thing with this, right? It became overextended right around 6:30, but it just continued to rally. And again, that's why I had to manage my risk and stay true to that. So let's see. Here we get a 4 hour for natural gas seems to show a bottom. No, I would not try to find the bottom, especially not for natural gas. Natural gas has been aggressively selling off. That's one that I just like. A lot of people have been asking, and I don't know if this is something that has ran through your head, but it's like natural gas does very well during the overall, winter months, and people think that they could just buy now for a really good deal and then begin to push up, right? And there goes crude oil. But that's just, seasons and patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't have to. We've been waiting all year, all 2019, for natural gas to push up. And guess what? It has not, right? It's that simple. It has not. But yeah. So again, I think an idea that I would just like to share with you, and you guys can take it as you want, is that patterns tend to repeat themselves, but they don't have to. I think confirmation is key. So getting serious FOMO on /sale right now. I agree. I hate those hater videos out there. Thoughts. I can't control what people say, right? It's like, and this is something that like I'm learning, right? I didn't like grow up with a following in the past 3 years. I've started uploading videos, and then we became the #1 YouTube channel and #1 Facebook group for those who trade in the stock market. I'm young, and there's multiple reasons that I can see why people don't like me. But at the end of the day, it's like, as long as I, focus on myself and my team and the series of different projects that we have going on, there's no one in my eyes that is in any way relatively close to what it is that we are doing, right? We're working on building that TechBuds HQ and all these different softwares and things that we're working on. It's just, I can see why people would, and people would be just rubbed off the wrong way in any way, right? And on top of that, why do we become a target, right? When you're, I don't want to say #1. I'm not saying that I'm the best. I'm not in any way. I've never said that. But we are the biggest channel, and we are the biggest Facebook group, and we become a target, right? My age, the way that I, carry myself, I can see why my cars can rub people off the wrong way. But I'm a huge fanboy for cars. I always have been. That's been before my YouTube channel and before Learn Plan Profit, right? I've said it multiple times before, where I had my McLaren and my Z06 before LPP and before like everything. But at the end of the day, like, I cannot control what people say or do. And by using my name, they'll get more views. And yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, if you can't beat them, then why not just try to, leech off of that type of, following. So yeah, keep doing you. Yeah. I appreciate we got so many messages yesterday about like all your guys' support and stuff like that. At the end of the day, like, I don't want you guys to go out of your way to get in an argument. Like, I upload videos on YouTube. Like, it literally, like, if it's gonna, like, people are gonna try to start drama off of YouTube, it's like, there's so many bigger issues for me to pay attention to or focus on, right? I'm really working on building and establishing like my headquarters for TechBuds Solutions. Do you really think I'm gonna like waste my time off of some irrelevant person that is just sharing their opinion of me? And there's a lot of people that don't like me, just like I cannot like people, but I'm not gonna share that on my channel, because why would I give them that exposure? It's one of the things that, is very clear, is that, big people don't talk about smaller people. Smaller people will only talk about bigger people to lift themselves up. It makes sense, right? It's like, I'm not going to spend time talking about a smaller person than me because it's irrelevant. But if I want to talk about Elon, or if I want to talk about Warren Buffett, then there's, there's some form of like lighthouse effect, right? I'm taking the authority and the reach from those people and being able to go up, right? But yeah, I really do appreciate all your guys' like kind words and stuff like that, and support. Don't break a sweat. There's nothing that we can do to control that. Let's just enjoy what it is that we're doing. Focus with those that see value in us and that we want to work with. And at the end of the day, I think that's what's most important. You work with those that you see value in and that make you the best person that you can be. And if that's me, then great. And if that's not me, then I still wish you the best. There's no hard feelings in that. And I hope that you guys understand that. Like, I've never been someone that, like, when people message me about investing in the Forex market, crypto market, and any other niche within the market for the stock market, it's like, I don't care what approach you take to the market, as long as you do you and you enjoy it and you see value in it. That's what I want, right? Here we go. Looks like we're pulling back. Might continue that downward pattern. I like that. Just like big teams talk about their trophies and small teams talk about how they won against big teams. Yeah, there's no reason to waste time on it. So I really do appreciate you guys' like kind support and just kind words. But altogether, let's just continue enjoying what it is that we do every day. And, you know, if they think that this form of success is annoying, then they better take a little seat, right? Because we have much more coming. Ricky, do you have unlimited day trades? I mean, I pay for commission, right? So I pay $3 per trade. I'm not under the PDT rule. So yeah, clarity in 6 minutes. Yep, we got the crude oil report in 6 minutes. So I don't want to say that I have unlimited trades. I still have to pay for every trade. So depending on how much I have in my account, then yeah. Just remember, man, you're the one laughing all the way to the bank. Hey, it's not even about that. It's not even about like me making more money or anything like that or anything like that. It's just, I think of how you value yourself as a person and what you spend your time doing. That's it. Have you taken any positions today? Yeah, I took a loss. It was all caught during the live stream. I only took one position. I added, so 3 trades. I bought, right? Because I was up and then I had to cut losses. But I'm glad I did that. I think I showed true signs of risk management. And I hope that you guys could agree. But yeah. Renji, appreciate you as well. Potential pullback on /CL. Whoa, did not see that. That would have been really nice. But we have 5 minutes left until the crude oil report. And this sucks. Can I hear an amen? What's going on, Eddie? And there it goes. It's almost beginning to push up once again. Ricky, why don't you have any pets? I don't really like animals. I know that's a little rough, but yeah, I don't really like animals. I have 3 roommates in the 8-bedroom house that we have, and that's more than enough. And then I have my other house where the other 3 teammates live. I just don't like messes. I'm like a very clean dude, and it's already rough enough living with these guys because they don't wash their dishes or they don't clean up after themselves. But normally I would jump right into /CL, right? We have confirmation, we have lower lows, right? All right, let's not talk too much about animals right now. But yeah, /CL is pulling back. So again, normally I would take a position right now on DWT as /CL selling off. Can you guys understand? So I don't care, like, do you guys understand why I'm not taking a position on DWT right now? Does that make sense to you? Why am I not taking a position when I have confirmation of a sell-off? There goes /NG making lower lows. Why am I not in DWT? I just want you guys to understand, why am I not in it? So I don't want me to just tell you, but why am I not in it? The report, the crude oil report is in 3 minutes, which means that, again, yes, I like how overbought /CL is. I like the margin for recovery, that DWT has. We have confirmation of it below EMA line. We have lower lows forming. We have all those different things, right? But what do we know that's going to happen in 3 minutes? The crude oil report. And that can send it going either which way. So because of that, I just don't think it's worth the risk. Does that make sense? Because if I get in and then it just begins to consolidate, which we saw that it did, then that's just a waste of a trade. It's not a very effective or efficient trade. And I'm just too close to the report. And that's why I decided to not hold. So does the /CL, so does the crude oil report recover just like natural gas report usually do? Just like we've seen, sometimes natural gas can recover and sometimes it doesn't recover at all. So because of that, the crude oil report is no different. They all have, they all perform in different ways. Yeah, there's sometimes that they perform in a specific way, and those are the patterns that we can go off of. But at the end of the day, they don't have to. So that's why, again, confirmation is so important. We've seen really recently where something will push up and then all of a sudden just push down and then continue to sell off, like completely change its direction. So I'm excited to see. If I were to pick one, again, I'm not predicting what's going to happen. There's no predicting, right? It's not about that. But based off of the news that I've read about forward/CL, right? And how it's been trading, if I were to pick a side and how things are going, there's only one thing that I didn't really like. I don't know if I think it was actually for natural gas, but it had to do with its overall supply. If the supply continues to be low, that will directly then correlate to a price increase, right? Especially with where it's at on the technical standpoint, which has nothing to do with the fundamentals, then I can see why there could be a push up, right? But again, that's not a suggestion in any way. So last time, Wednesday, right, where we at right here, there's an aggressive sell-off, right? And it looks like it sold off. So, but that's when it was like descending. So yeah, we have, 30 seconds. All right, guys, I would cover right now. You could always get back in, and I would close out the trade. We have 10 seconds until the natural gas, the crude oil report. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cool. My guess was right. At the end of the day, it's a guess. So super happy to see that. Strong push up. Again, crude oil has been very bullish. If you saw how it performed yesterday, it was very bullish, right? So there's a series of different things that I think that led to, maybe this push up. But really happy that it pushed up. I'm going to give it time. Kind of a small push. I wouldn't say that. How is that a small push? It was all the way down here. It's like a 2% push. That's not bad in my eyes, and it's not even done. So again, sometimes it takes some time, but I'm going to give this more time. Again, I've learned my lesson that I don't want to trade it right away. That's just from experience. I don't want to buy the dip right away. I don't want to buy the peak right away for the inverse ETF. But I thought that was interesting, right? I'm going to give it a little bit more time. I'm going to go grab my protein shake. Dude, it's been 1 hour. Can you guys, it's been 52 minutes. That is so crazy, huh? Oh shoot, I almost turned off the live stream. That's been 53 minutes going live with us. So I had a lot of fun. Ended the day green. Super happy to hear that. I'm going to give my trade or my setup a little bit more time. Don't turn it off. Yeah, I kind of wanted to turn it off. I wanted to go grab my protein shake. As you guys can see, I look super tired. Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this live stream. One of the things that I do want to remind you is if you ever have any suggestions, and don't give me a suggestion of like you should trade for a longer period of time or that like you should trade for the whole day. That's not a suggestion. I mean, I guess that is, but that's not one that I'll realistically do. But I'm speaking, I'm like being honest, like or being serious. If you have a tip or a suggestion that you would like for me to incorporate into my live streams of what you would like to see, then please just send me a direct message via Discord, and I would run it by my team and see if it's something that we can implement for you. I'm always looking for different ways on how to improve the experience for our Learn Plan Profit members, and see how I could provide more value to give you guys a bigger bang for your buck, right? But I really hope that you guys enjoy this. I really do appreciate your guys' time. And yeah, I'm going to keep you guys up to date again under the trade ideas section for Learn Plan Profit. So if I see something to be overbought or overextended, I'll post this in the trade ideas and then we can kind of go from there. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. Hope you guys have an amazing rest of your Wednesday. Again, be selective, be consistent, lock in those profits. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy.